Hi, this is the History of Israel podcast, an Eat My Own Beat podcast. Over the coming weeks, months, and years, we'll be discussing the history of Israel. This is not a podcast to say which side is right, which side is wrong. It's not a podcast to talk about the war which is happening in Palestine. It's just simply the history of Israel.
Welcome back to episode 25 of the History of Israel podcast. Aftermath of the Roman Jewish revolts. The rebels' eventual failure was a catastrophe due to the brutal suppression of the revolt, which resulted in a huge number of people being killed or captured. Judea's rural countryside was devastated and depopulated. Judea was no longer the focus of Jewish life, and the province's name was changed to Syria Palestina. The Romans barred Jews from Jerusalem, except to attend Tisha B'Av. Although Jewish Christians hailed Jesus as the Messiah and did not support the Bar Kokhba, they were barred from Jerusalem along with the rest of the Jews. The war and its aftermath helped differentiate Christianity as a religion and distinct from Judaism. Due to the First Jewish-Roman War, the destruction of the Second Temple ushered in a major time of dramatic reformation in religious leadership, causing the face of Judaism to change. The Second Temple served as the centralized location from which the ruling groups Sadducees and Pharisees maintained Judaism, while rivaling Essenes and Zealots being largely in opposition. With the destruction of the temple, the major ruling group lost their power. The Sadducees, who were the priests, directly lost their localized rabbinic group. Rabbinic power did not derive from the temple or from its military prowess, but spread to different communities through the synagogues. This changed the way Judaism was practiced on a daily basis, which included changing from sacrificing animals to praying in order to worship God. Rabbinic Judaism became a religion centered around synagogues, and the Jews themselves dispersed throughout the Roman world and beyond. With the destruction of Jerusalem, important centers of Jewish culture developed in the area of Galilee and Babylonia, and work on the Talmud continued in these locations. Before Vespasian's departure in the Pharistic stage, Rabbi Yohan ben Zakkai obtained the permission to establish a Judaic school of Yavni. Zakkai was smuggled away from Jerusalem in a coffin by his students. The school later became a major center of Talmudic study. Hadrian, who was emperor from 1117 to 1138, undertook punitive actions towards the Jewish community, including barring them from entering Jerusalem, except for the fast day of Tisha B'Av. Jerusalem itself was refounded as the Roman polis of Aelia Capitolina, and the province of Judea was renamed Syria Palestine. At the former Jewish sanctuary of Temple Mount, he installed two statues, one of the Jupiter and one of himself. The Jewish-Roman wars had a dramatic impact on the Jews, turning them from a major population into the eastern Mediterranean into a scattered and persecuted minority. The Jewish-Roman wars are often cited as a disaster to Jewish society. The defeat of the Jewish revolts altered the Jewish population and enhanced their importance of the Jewish diaspora, essentially moving the demographic center of Jews from Judea to Galilee and Babylon, with the minor communities across the Mediterranean. Although having a sort of autonomy in Galilee until 4th century, and later limited success in establishing a short-lived Sasanian Jewish autonomy in Jerusalem from 614 to 617. Jewish dominance in this part of the southern Levant was only regained in the mid-20th century with the founding of the modern state of Israel in 1948.
This has been the History of Israel podcast. Check back every Wednesday for new episodes. We're available on Apple, iTunes, Google Podcasts, as well as Spotify. We also have each episode streaming on YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment, and share. We're available on eattomyownbeat.com as well as the History of Israel podcast on Facebook.